If I could share with you one secret that would help you persuade anybody, what would you say? Welcome back, everyone, to another episode of Atomic Ambition, the podcast where we delve into self-improvement and self-help books. And this week we have a masterpiece, a modern masterpiece, Suasion by Robert Cialdini. He's written other books, but I think this is either the latest or one of his latest. Suasion, because it's a thick book. There's lots of research and lots of depth that has gone into this book. If you haven't read any of Robert Cialdini's work, I highly recommend you do so, simply because he has done so much research, and his knowledge about the ability of persuading and influencing people he's up there with the best. You know, if you've read Dale Carnegie, for instance, and other influential sort of writers on this subject, you've got to read Dr. Robert Cialdini's. I hope that's how you pronounce his name. I'm not 100% sure. So, like I said, it is quite a detailed book. There's a lot of research in there, a lot of different areas. The one secret, is it a secret? I don't think it's a secret, but the one area that this book and other books that I've read about self-improvement, influence, becoming more influential, one of the areas that keeps popping up is asking questions. And not just any type of question, asking questions in the right way that help you influence the people that you're speaking to. So that's what we're going to talk about again today. Now, we did speak about asking questions a few weeks ago. I did a sort of a deep dive into the MOM test, which was Rob Fitzpatrick who wrote that one, the MOM test. And the MOM test is all about asking questions in the right way. Now, with Suasion, this is adding another element to that. Suasion and other books on the subject. There's Chris Voss, who wrote about negotiation, and he talks about giving emotions a label, which in a similar way in this book, Suasion, Robert Cialdini talks about giving people a label, very similar to Dale Carnegie. Dale Carnegie talks about giving people a reputation to live up to. And this is a very similar idea, in my opinion. In Suasion, you're giving people a reputation, you're giving people a label, okay, before you ask the questions, if that kind of makes sense. So if you give people, or if you say to somebody, look, you're a smart, intelligent guy, you've dealt with this problem hundreds of times in the past, what advice can you give me? Now, the question is, what advice could you give me? Or realistically, if we break that question down, can you help me? If you just go up to somebody and ask them for help, can you help me? I mean, there's a good chance they're going to say yes. If they're good, decent, honest people, there's a good chance they're going to say yes. But there's also an equal chance that they might say no. But if you give someone a label, look, you're an intelligent guy, you're a successful guy, you've achieved so much in this area, you know so much, and I know you like to share with others, what advice would you give me in this situation? Now, it's very, very difficult in that case for the person to say, I'm going to give you no information, I'm giving you no help, because you've built them up, you have given them a reputation, you've given them a label of being a good guy, willing to help. And as you've said that, they've sat back and sort of listened to what you said and they go, yeah, I am that person. So once you've given them that label and they've sort of, in their own minds, they've said, yeah, I am that person, they then themselves have to live up to that reality of being that good person. It's very difficult once you've agreed that you are that kind of person to then turn around and just say no, if that makes sense. Yeah. So that's one of the areas from this book about using the power of questions to influence people by asking the questions in a specific way that gives somebody a label or gives them a reputation before you ask the question. I have, for many years, for a lot of years, one of the main areas that I've worked in is helping people to ask good questions. Because I believe asking good questions is essential for good communication. It stops communication. If you ask a good question, that can stop bad communication, in my view. Robert Cialdini, in his book Persuasion, he also talks about questions allowing you to give direction to a conversation. The questions that you ask direct the thoughts and the responses of the people that you're speaking to. So if you're asking good questions, you're also directing the thoughts and the minds of other people. So you're persuading them. You are influencing them with the questions that you ask, which is a great skill to practice. And yeah, if you do not have the communication skills to ask good questions, this is, in my personal humble opinion, one key skill that you should practice. The one key skill that you should put a lot of effort into to help you become better at communicating in general. Now, if like me, you're a bit of an introvert, you're a bit sort of socially awkward and shy, asking good questions can help you feel so much better. If you can ask good questions, you only need 2 or 3 good questions and the conversation is flowing, and you can sort of sit back and just sort of, listen in effect, which is what, as socially awkward introverts, we want to do. We want to sort of take a step back and let everyone else get on with things, because we're not extroverted in that sense. But you also want to be included. You don't want to be discluded. So if you can learn the art of asking questions, that would be the one thing that I would say to all of you guys out there. It's a key skill. It's a key skill to learn and to have. Doesn't matter what you do in terms of your job. Communication is essential. And if you can ask great questions, not just good questions, but great questions, you can become an amazing communicator. You can become influential and persuasive. You can become a member of a team that people want to work with. And that's the key. We want to be included, not discluded, because of our, I'm not going to say lack of ability, but because of our social awkwardness. Yeah, we don't want that to be a hindrance. We want that to be something that we can get past. Yeah, so I am going to recommend that you guys go and buy Persuasion, buy this book, read this book, and if there's only one thing that you take away from the book, it will be learn how to ask great questions. It's a secret that I've been talking about myself for many years, and it's a secret that can help you become a super communicator. Okay, so that's it for this week. I hope to see you all again next week. Bye for now.